Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're watching today. Sasha here, and today I wanted to talk about a little background on matcha. Not so much a history lesson, but just, some fun little tidbits about what makes matcha matcha. So we're in day 2 of the month of matcha, and I know what you're thinking when you first take a look. This doesn't really have green, it's more blue, but you can see the green. I'm pointing it out. It's on here, so have it straight too far away from the promise. But let's just jump right in, shall we? Matcha. Matcha, along with other green teas, along with white tea, black tea, oolong, pu'er, they are all made from the one major tea plant, which is Camellia sinensis. And they're just processed differently, be it, if it's fermented, not fermented, if it's left out in the sun, if it's plucked and protected. They're still made from that one leaf. And the beauty of, all these different processes is you come out with different forms of tea. Now, matcha is really different in the fact that it's a powder for the most part. You all know that it is a nice green looking powder. Matcha comes from Japan, and the use of tea in general in Eastern cultures came from China. So with Japan, they use a specific green tea in which they dubbed tencha. So tencha actually translates to, in English, to grind or mortar. So with tencha, that's the precursor of matcha. And then tencha leaves and stems are, they're preserved in a particular fashion. And then the tea manufacturers grind them up in a mortar and pestle, and they get their beautiful green hue. There's also sencha, which some of you may come across at, shopping for tea, and you see sencha. The thing with sencha is that it is a different way to process the green tea, the precursor green tea, and it was thought of as a lower grade form of another tea called Matcha. But I don't want to deviate too far into it. But sencha can be used to make matcha powder as well. Sencha can be enjoyed through leaves as a whole leaf tea, which I have here. This is David's Tea's organic Japanese sencha. And like I said, you would take the whole ground or the whole, leaf stem and grind it up like tencha to make matcha powder from sencha. Tencha is more common, but sencha matcha powder is a thing too. I just haven't seen it. But I know it's out there. It's definitely out there in the Eastern markets and whatnot, but not so much here. So sencha and tencha are just two different grades of tea leaves. Tencha is going to have more of the varieties of matcha, such as the ceremonial grade and your classic grade. And without deviating too much into that too soon, I'm actually going to bring y'all in for how the sencha leaves look in comparison to the matcha powder. Okay, folks, so you're seeing here to the left is the organic Japanese sencha. And to the right, didn't mean to hit it, is our general matcha. This is actually the matcha matsu, which I was holding in the picture. But your typical culinary grade matcha. So you see here, it's just the leaves for sencha, and then we can't tell, but everything, leaves, stems, everything, all ground up. Sencha, I've tasted it before in the 31 Days of David Tea special that I did December. It still has the scent, what you would call it? Yeah, really the scent. It smells like matcha. Like really dense vegetal tones I'm getting from the sencha. And then I haven't had matcha matsu yet, but if it's like any other matcha that I've had, it's pretty much vegetal and umami. That's the main taste that, is associated with matcha, excuse me. So with that, let's bring it on back. So I kind of aforementioned the different grades of matcha. The two main branches are ceremonial, which is the highest grade you can get, and then culinary grade, which is the kind you cook with. But subsects of the culinary grade, now I'm mentioning it, the first one being premium grade, which is almost akin to ceremonial grade matcha tea. Then we have cafe grade, which they have less delicate leaves than ceremonial and premium grade matchas. And it's a strong flavor. Probably one that you want to cook and bake with. Then we moving down. We have ingredient grade, which you would use this as a suggestion. You would use this type of grade to make anything like matcha ice cream, matcha smoothies, anything that has milk or dairy would go nice with ingredient grade matcha. Then we have kitchen grade matcha, which is one of the more cheapest brands of matcha. It's pretty coarse, as the lower the quality, the coarser the matcha powder is. For high quality matcha, you want fine powder. Very fine. And it is said that ceremonial grade matcha is so fine that if you touch it, it's actually embedded in your fingerprint. You can leave a nice strong fingerprint with ceremonial grade matcha. Kitchen grade matcha is on the cheaper side. And then the lowest grade is classic grade. So costs less than kitchen grade, and it can be used as kitchen grade, classic grade are two versatile uses for experimenting with matcha. And did you know matcha actually translates to rubbed tea? So rubbed in the sense that it's processed in a mortar and pestle. So the pestle is rubbing those leaves in the mortar, and you come out with that resultant characteristic green powder. So as an example, matcha matsu. This is, I would say, it's definitely culinary. It's one of the cheaper matchas that David's Tea offers. And I'll read the description. This fresh grassy tea has all the aroma of a Japanese tea garden. Plus, it can hold its own when mixed into lattes, milkshakes, cookies, and more. So this would lead me to believe that this would be probably kitchen grade, just basic kitchen grade matcha. I wouldn't even say cafe, but definitely kitchen grade matcha. David's Tea also has Grand Cru as a step above, so that may be your cafe grade or your premium grade. I mean, it's $29, $29, $30 for a 2 ounce. So that's kind of on the pricier side. And then David's Tea has their creme de la creme, the organic ceremonial matcha, which tops off at $40. $40 or $44. I just read it. But it's up there for a 1.8 ounce of matcha. $44, folks. So, yeah. David's Tea has their different little levels of matcha, grades of matcha. I'm pretty certain, though, you can find different matchas in, other companies, maybe companies that are not so well known. But you could probably get ceremonial matcha. For the most part, I saw like the cheapest is probably $25, $30 for 1.5 ounce can. Tin, excuse me, not can. So, I mean, and also it's one of those your mileage may vary situations in which they might be slapping on their ceremonial matcha, but you expect it yourself and it may not be what it lives up to be. So, yeah, hopefully you can come up with the ceremonial grade matcha if you want to just experience sipping the drink, because ceremonial is suggested to be the brand or grade of matcha that you want to sip. I mean, I do enjoy the lower grade matchas. They taste just great to me. I would love to one day try the ceremonial matcha, but I'm pretty content with the matcha matsu or, of like quality. Also with David's Tea and maybe other companies that flavor their matchas and have like the matcha mixes, there's no doubt in my mind that they're using like matsu, like their lowest grade matcha, versus something of a better quality. So I mean, like, don't hold your breath if you think you want to get the ceremonial taste of matcha with those flavored matchas, because the price reflects it. Those matcha, like matcha with vanilla or mint, it's probably the matcha matsu with it has sugar and the flavoring, the natural flavoring. So matcha, they pin it as a superfood, has all these antioxidants. It can give you caffeine, like the caffeine boost without the jitters. It's just revered as a really healthy drink. It also helps with weight loss and detox, which, hey, it's all great, all gravy. But I just like the taste of it. And, throughout this month, I want to showcase, what kinds there are out there, how to incorporate it in cooking. I'd like to do all of that, y'all. So stay tuned. This was just a little icebreaker. We're keeping it moving. Day 3, we're going to have another video. Day 4, now we're going to be having some fun with the matcha. So don't go anywhere. It's a slow start, yes, but hopefully you learned something about matcha. I certainly did. Makes me appreciate it even more. Now I can see why there's so much time and, the price being justified. Other than that, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Month of Matcha. Thank you for tuning in. Any questions, comments, suggestions, or small talk? Don't be a stranger. Leave it in my comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on, matcha. Do you enjoy it? Like, what's the highest grade you've ever tasted? Would you like to taste? All that good stuff, folks. Let's talk about matcha. All right. So, yeah, like I said, I'll see you tomorrow for my next video. And until then, enjoy your weekend. Take care. Take it easy. Make it a great day today and every day. And take it easy. Bye now.